The South Carolina Gamecocks travel to Columbia, Missouri to take on the 23rd ranked Missouri Tigers. Missouri is just under a 2-touchdown favorite. This game will be 7 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN. South Carolina's coaching staff, Shane Beamer is the head coach. OC is Mike Shula. DC is Clayton White. And for Missouri, really good staff headlined by their head coach, Eli Drinkwitz. Big story in this game is the quarterback situation. South Carolina's LaNorris Sellers. We're going to operate under the assumption that he's available. We don't know if he will go. We don't know if we'll know until game time. It's sounding somewhat positive, just so you kind of have the backstory. Last week against Vanderbilt, they're down 14-7. Sellers releases a throw, gets hit in a pretty violent hit from the Vanderbilt linebacker. The hit drew a flag for targeting, ejected the linebacker, but it left Sellers hurt on the field for over a minute while he was attended to by the medical staff. And while Shane Beamer said after the game that it was way too soon to know if Sellers would be available for the Missouri game, and that reports later confirmed that he was diagnosed with a concussion, which was a significant development because that requires you to go into NCAA concussion safety protocols, requires a clearance from medical personnel before you can resume play. Well, on Sunday, the narrative started to shift. And during a teleconference, Beamer was a little more hopeful, saying that he's, quote, optimistic that Sellers will be able to play against the Tigers. So we'll see exactly what happens there. But if Sellers can't go, that could be a huge problem for South Carolina's upset bid of the Missouri Tigers. Missouri's quarterback, Bo Pribula, has been outstanding. Transfer quarterback from Penn State, won the preseason competition against Sam Horn, whose season has now been cut short, but he's been in complete command. He's been outstanding here in these first couple games. Really precise, completing 76% of his passes, just one pick, 7 touchdowns. His quarterback rating is one of the best in the country, but it's his rushing acumen that's also really difficult to defend. He's got 76 rushing yards and a couple touchdowns on the ground as well. So this is a guy that can stress you in a lot of areas with his arm, with his legs, and he makes this Missouri offense really go. Question 1, can South Carolina do anything offensively without LaNorris Sellers? Now, before the injury, Sellers was 6 of 7 for 94 yards. And while he'd thrown a costly interception in the red zone, the offense was pretty functional with him at the helm. Well, once he departed, the unit completely fell apart. In the 41 offensive plays that the Gamecocks ran without Sellers, they failed to score a single point. They had just 184 yards and committed 3 turnovers. The offense was handed over to Luke Doty, who was a 6th-year senior, has been around for a long time. He's very experienced, but pretty ineffective. Just 18 to 27 for 148 and an interception, and then he lost a fumble on a sack as well. So under his direction, South Carolina really couldn't manufacture explosive plays. Their final 3 possessions of the game ended in giveaways, and it led to a pretty lopsided defeat. So the takeaway is this. Sellers is not just the team's best player, he's the entire offensive system. So even before he went out, the unit's national rankings were not great, right? They're 118th in total offense. They're 96th in scoring. They're 118th in rushing offense, 30% on third down conversions. That's 120th, 50% in touchdown efficiency in the red zone. That was 103rd. Triple dig in a lot of categories, not what you want. These struggles are not just in one area too. They rank kind of near the bottom in almost every meaningful offensive category. So they got to be better in this matchup because Mizzou has a top 5 defense, statistically speaking. They're allowing 200 yards a game. That's 5th. 100 yards through the air. That's also 5th. They have a couple of big-time playmakers in Damon Wilson and Zion Young. Those 2 guys up front along the defensive line can create a lot of problems for an offensive line that has struggled at times this year. Question 2, can South Carolina slow down Missouri's rushing offensive attack? Now, the foundation of Missouri's offensive dominance has been a punishing rushing attack led by an offensive line that is, in a lot of ways, new. A lot of those guys haven't played a lot together, so the fact that they're averaging over 300 yards per contest is pretty impressive. Now, their running back, Ahmad Hardy's been outstanding. He's got 462 yards and 5 touchdowns through 3 games, 8 yards per carry. He's not by himself either, though, because Jamal Roberts is there. Solid complementary punch. It's a nice 1-2 combo that can help kind of control the line of scrimmage and get things going vertically. And that creates really favorable opportunities for Bo Pribula off play action in the passing attack. And the Gamecocks defense, they're pretty dang good now. 43rd in scoring defense. They allow 17 points a game. 49th in total defense. They give up just under 310 a game. Their performance against the run has been really solid. All right, they're top 50 at 107.7 per contest. And they do have some standouts, like their edge defender, Dylan Stewart, who's a freshman All-American, one of the best in the country at his position. He can take over the game. And their nickelback, Jalen Kilgore, he's a big-time player as well. They're kind of on the edge. But the problem is they haven't been very good on third down, and that's when an edge rusher and a nickel should be at their best. They're giving up 43% on third down. That's 103rd. Question 3, can South Carolina win the turnover battle? I think they absolutely have to win the turnover battle in this game. The first couple games, they kind of protected the ball. They forced some takeaways. They go into week 3 with a +3 margin, thinking, all right, South Carolina's right where they need to be. And they came back to earth in a big way. They now have 4 turnovers on the season, 4 takeaways on the season, so a 0 in the turnover margin. They have to get back to doing things the way they did them in the first couple weeks, creating short fields for an offense that's been struggling a bit and stealing a couple possessions to keep Missouri's high-powered attack off the field. Missouri has covered in 8 straight games. It's the longest active streak in the FBS. I'll take Missouri. I don't know right now what to expect from LaNorris Sellers. Even if he plays, I still think Missouri is more complete. I think Missouri is more disruptive along the defensive line, and I think they can apply pressure against an offensive line that has struggled up to this point of the season.